Now, the French school system is not so different from what you know or what you're used to. Typically, it starts with preschool, and preschool in French is called l'école maternelle, or simply put, maternelle. Now, just after preschool, then you have the elementary school. The elementary school in French is called l'école primaire, or just le primaire. After elementary school, then you have the middle school. Now, the middle school in French is called collège. Now, college to an American, it's what is known as university, but college in French actually means middle school. So try to make the distinction. When a French person says college, it means middle school and not university. Now, after college, then you have, of course, the high school, which is called le lycée. Le lycée in French. Now, after high school, then you have college in American English, or university in British English. And in French is often called la fac. La fac, so la fac is the short form of la faculté or l'université, if you wish. Now, let's start with the preschool. Now, the preschool in French, like I said, is called l'école maternelle. And you should know that at this stage, attendance is not compulsory in France. Now, there are different levels to the maternelle. You have la petite section de maternelle, which is often known as PS. Now, this is the nursery school. And at this stage, the child is expected to be around 3 years old. Now, after PS, then you have the MS, which stands for la moyenne section. Now, la moyenne section is what is known in the US as pre-K or pre-kindergarten, while in the UK is known as reception. At this stage, the child is 4 years old. Now, after the moyenne section, you have the grande section. The grande section is often called the JS, and in the US is known as kindergarten, and in the UK is called year 1. At this stage, the child is 5 years old. After preschool, then the child moves to what we call le primaire or l'école primaire, which in English translates to elementary school. Now, from 6 years, kids in France are obliged to go to school. So while preschool is not compulsory in France, elementary school till high school is compulsory. So in elementary school, l'école primaire, you start with what we call cours préparatoire, which is called CP. At this stage, the child is around 6 years. It's called CP, and this is called the first grade in the US, and in the UK is called the year 2. Now, after CP, you have the CE1. Now, CE stands for cours élémentaire. Cours élémentaire première année. That's why it's called CE1. At this stage, the child is around 7 years. And this in the UK is called the year 3. Now, after CE1, then you have the CE2, which is cours élémentaire deuxième année. Cours élémentaire deuxième année. At this stage, the child is 8 years, and this is known as third grade in the US and year 4 in the UK. Now, after CP, you have CE1, CE2. Now, after CE2, the child graduates to what is known as cours moyen première année, or CM1. CM1. So CM1 stands for cours moyen première année. At this stage, the child is around 9 years. This is what is known as year 5 in the UK and 4th grade in the US. Now, after CM1, then you have CM2, which is the last stage of elementary school. CM2, of course, stands for cours moyen deuxième année. At this stage, the child is around 10 years old. And in the UK, this is called the year 6, and in the US is the 5th grade. Now, this is the last stage in elementary school before the child, of course, goes to the middle school, which is called le collège. Now, you should know that people at this stage, kids at this stage, are called les écoliers. Les écoliers, which means elementary school children. At this stage too, teachers are traditionally called le maître and la maîtresse. Okay, so if you see a male teacher in elementary school, don't be surprised if the kids call the person le maître. Le maître in French actually means master, but in elementary school, this is the language. You call your male teacher in elementary school in France le maître, but you call a lady who is teaching in elementary school la maîtresse. Now, also, you should know that in elementary school, a main teacher, a maître or maîtresse, teaches several subjects. Some are le français, you have la géographie, you have questionner le monde, you have les arts, les sciences, l'histoire, and so on. Now, after elementary school, then a child moves to what is known as le collège. Now, le collège is what is generally known in the Anglophone world as middle school. Middle school. Now, after elementary school is what they call l'enseignement secondaire. This is particular to kids who are between 11 and 16 years. Now, in the college, there are basically 4 grades. Now, it starts with what is known as sixième. Now, at sixième, the kid is expected to be at least 11 years of age, and this is what is equivalent to the year 7 in the UK and 6th grade in the US. Now, after sixième, then you have cinquième. Cinquième, you are already 12 years. In the UK, that's year 8, and in the US, that's 7th grade. So after sixième, you have cinquième, then after cinquième, you have quatrième, then after quatrième, there's troisième. Now, one good thing to note is that after le collège, after middle school, French kids are expected to write a test called le brevet. Now, le brevet is what allows you to go to high school. Also, you should know that while someone in elementary school is called l'écolier or l'écolière if it's a girl, someone in middle school is called collégien if it's a male, and collégienne if it's female. Okay? So the middle school, le collège, is also known as le premier cycle des études secondaires. Le premier cycle des études secondaires. Okay? Now, after middle school, of course, comes the high school. Now, high school in French, like I said, is called le lycée. And this is for kids who are between 16 and 18 years. Now, the lycée can be in general studies with some specialty, as in languages or sciences, leading to the diploma of baccalauréat général, commonly called le bac. The child can actually decide to prepare for a special trade. Now, the special trade could be hairdressing, maybe to become a cook, to become a mechanic, an electrician, and so on. This in turn leads to what is called the CAP or BEP diploma. Okay, and you can actually stop at 16 years, or you can choose to go to a baccalauréat technologique. While the college, the middle school ends at troisième, then the high school starts with la seconde. Okay, so this is not called deuxième, it's called la seconde. And at this stage, the child is expected to be at least 15 years of age. And this is what is called year 11 in the UK and the 10th grade in the US. Now, after la seconde, then you have première, and after première, the last stage of high school education in France is called la terminale. La terminale. At this stage, the child is expected to be around the age of 17 years, and this is what is known as year 13 in the UK and 12th grade in the US. Now, like I mentioned, the exam to write to attend any university of your choice is called le bac. And le bac simply means le baccalauréat. After a successful completion of high school or secondary school education, then you have the higher education. The higher education in French is called l'enseignement supérieur. Now, l'enseignement supérieur has to do with everything with bachelor's, master's, postgraduate diplomas, PhD, and the likes. This is under the umbrella called l'enseignement supérieur, or also known as des études supérieures. Des études supérieures is what is known as higher studies. À la fac, which is university, or in les grandes écoles. Now, generally, to attend any university in France or any tertiary institution in France, you need to have le bac, which is called le baccalauréat. But if you decide to be admitted into one of the grandes écoles are schools like Sciences Po, HEC, La Sorbonne, ENC. These are really top schools in France. Sometimes they may require that you write a special test before, even with your baccalaureate, before you admitted into the school. And sometimes they only require that you have what is called une mention. Une mention to an anglophone is what could be something like 2-1, like second class upper or a first class. That's une mention. So you have mention bien and mention très bien. Mention très bien is what the English speakers called first class honors, while mention or mention bien is what we call the second class upper or the second class, as it may. So basically that's what you need to know about the French school system. Now if you enjoyed this video, don't hesitate to check out my website on rapidefrench.net. And perhaps you are interested in learning French as a beginner. I just created an online course for absolute beginners. You may want to check that out on my website. Oui, voilà. Merci beaucoup d'avoir suivi cette vidéo jusqu'à la fin et à très bientôt.